at your feet.
I did. Thanks.
Now you can't see.
If you haven't signed this form, please come do it right now.
This comes what happened when you sign your form. See? You too could have this kind of action.
Okay. So everybody has to sign one of those forms.
I'm at.
Alright?
What? You know his hands?
Oh, his fingers are strong.
Okay. So while the other folks are signed up on the forms, alright, the first thing is everybody will get a life jacket. Okay, all the life jackets are down by the rafts. When you get your life jacket, talk to your guide about making sure you have it on properly. Okay, they'll make sure that everything's tightened up as it should be. You want a good snug life jacket. We'll put them on by the rafts and we'll work with the guide to make sure they're on right, okay? Alright. So then let's talk about the big river that we're on today, right? When we get on the water, the safest place to be is in the boat. Okay, so that's where it all starts. Job one is stay in the boat. Second job is listen to your guide. As long as you do what the guide says, there's a very high probability you will stay in the boat. Okay? Guides will instruct you on how to paddle and when to paddle. Follow those instructions. Everybody will stay in the boat. Okay, now while you're in the boat, you're going to have a paddle. And on that paddle, it's very important that you keep your hand on the end of the paddle. Okay, the guide will actually show you how to hold the paddle correctly for your position in the boat. But just as a kind of a key thing is to hold the end of the paddle in your hand. Don't hold the paddle just in the shaft, because if you move it around you might hit somebody in the head, and we don't want anybody to get hit in the head with the end of the paddle. So make sure it's a point to keep your hand on the end of the paddle. Okay, now, if somebody falls outside of the boat, that paddle that you have in your hand is a good opportunity. If they're away from the boat, you can extend that out to them. You can, that's the only time to let go of this end of the handle. Just extend it out to somebody to give them a kind of something to grab to come towards the boat.
Extension of your arm.
Okay, thank you. So the paddle's pretty handy for that. If you do fall out of the boat, hold on to your paddle. Okay, so that's kind of everything about paddle right there. Okay, so if somebody falls outside of the boat, first thing is we want to try and get them in the boat. Now the guide is going to be guiding the raft, so the people that are in as the paddlers will have to help bring in the person that's outside the boat. So the guide will get the boat positioned to help this person come in. And what you're going to want to do is, say this is the person that kind of has swum up to the boat, is you're going to try and grab. If you can't get in a cell, sometimes people can just grab the lines and pull themselves in. But if they need a little help, right? So you grab them here, and then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to dip them, and then lean back and pull them in. Just let your body do the work. Pull them in over the tube, and then they'll be back in. So first is, all right, just kind of do a 1, 2, 3 count. Just go dip, 2, 3 in. Okay? So it's real important to get people back in the boat if anybody falls out. So everybody will need to do that to help out their fellow paddlers. Okay, now, while you're in the water, say you fall out for some reason, what you're going to want to do is you want to go into what they call a safety floating position. And what that is you're going to want to get down in the water like this and keep your feet up. And sort of just put your feet down the river, and just sit like this. You know, if you can get toward the boat, that's fine, but if you're on the furway, just go in a safety position and we'll get the boat over to you. Another thing that might happen is that we may deploy a throw bag for you, and I don't know if we have a throw bag here. We don't have a throw bag. In each boat, there is a throw bag. And I don't have one to demonstrate. Maybe we're going to get one real quick. So what will happen is the guide will instruct somebody to throw the throw bag to the person that's floating in their safety position. And what we'll do there, it's kind of hard to talk about it.
That's good.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Grab the rope, not the bag. That's about it.
Alright, so after the throw bag, then we'll try and get the person upstream of the raft. So like, let's say this is the raft and we're going down this way. We'll try and get the swimmer to the upstream side of the raft. It's a little safer there just in case some other obstacle comes up. So try and get back to this side of the raft and then we'll try and pull you in. It's real important in the water, okay, this is really a key thing, is don't stand up in the water. Don't try and stand up.
You stand up here.
What you want to do is we talked about that safety position, and the reason that you're in that safety position is so your feet are high, because you don't want anything to get stuck down on something that could potentially catch your foot. So you do not want to stand up. The only time you would possibly stand up is if you're in the water, like your butt's dragging on like water that deep or something, you're by the shore. That'd be the only time. Generally speaking, you always want to stay in that safety position. When you are floating, if you are away from the boat can't get to you right away. You're going to want to, you may want to do some ferrying. And so what ferrying is like, say like you're a rock, just stay right there. I'm floating down the river and I'm in my lead up position. If I see that rock, I would want to kind of ferry away from it, okay, so that I'll go by the rock. So that's called ferrying. So you can do that in your floater's position. And by doing that, then you can avoid rocks or like a sweeper. We don't really have any, we don't expect to see logs here, but it is possible. So here we'll do a throw bag demonstration real quick.
Help, I'm drowning, help, help, help.
So somebody out there floating, maybe the first thing is you try and see if you can give him that paddle, but of course that's probably too far.
Help, I'm too far, help, help.
This particular person. So there's a clip here.
Is he drowning here?
He's drowning. Come on.
Make sure you hold this. I know what I'm trying to instruct. Hold on a second. Anyway, then you hold this. You'll hold this end in your hand, and an underhand toss is pretty good. So typically you'll try and just throw it right above their head.
Thank God.
Like that. Okay, so right beyond them. Now the first thing that the swimmer needs to know is don't grab the bag. Don't grab the bag. Grab the rope.
Yes.
Grab the rope. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll start to pull the swimmer in.
Oh God, I'm going
the
under.
swimmer may encounter current, and if you feel like the current is sort of like pulling you under, switch the side of the shoulder that you've got your rope on. And that makes a big difference, okay? And then we will pull the swimmer in, like this.
Thank God.
And then we'll do the 1, 2, 3, grab them and pull them in after we get them downstream on the raft, okay? So that's the demonstration of the throw bag. Let's see here. I want to make sure I'm going through all the must-dos here. Okay, if the raft should flip, we do have some big waves here today, so there is a slight possibility that, say if somebody didn't listen to their guide, that we may end up with a flipped raft or whatever. In that particular case, your guide will affect the flipping back over of the raft, and the other rafts will kind of start to come over and try and get everybody back in. But essentially what will happen is stick in your floating position, wait for the guide to get the raft flipped up, then everybody gets back into the raft, okay? First people in, like strong people maybe, jump right in, they grab the straps, they come on over. Next thing you do is help other people in. Try and hold on to your paddle. Don't forget to hold on to your paddle, you're going to need it, okay?
If somebody falls out, don't go after them. Let's make sure your boat gets through the rapid, and then we'll go pick up the people that fall out of the boat. Just make sure you keep paddling. Unless it's your girlfriend, then we might let it slide. Let them swim.
Just a few small details. Never have any loose ropes in the boat. I'm sure your guide will make sure there isn't. We'll secure anything that anybody brings into the boat. There's a little like package, a little mesh bag where we can put things in. Everything needs to be in that. Anybody has eyeglasses or sunglasses, you need to have the croaky on the back, so be aware of that. And then finally, just for this kind of river here, we do have a lot of hydraulics, and what that is the water's moving and churning, right? It's powerful water here. And so there is the possibility that it can also kind of pull down, and what will happen is that like it'll pull a tube down. And there's a technique that the team needs to know to help offset that. It's called high siding, okay? And so basically, if you're sitting on a tube and a hydraulic is pulling it down, you want to go to the high side, and that's called high siding. And so what you'll do is you'll shift over and get on the weight the side that's floating, not the side that's sinking. And that'll help bring that tube back up. So that is important. There are powerful hydraulics. So on this particular one, be aware of a disappearing tube. Start the high side. Your guide will instruct you on specific moves as well about where he'd like the group to move there's various hydraulic situations that are occurring.
Be aware, on this river, you can be going and it's flat water, all of a sudden one of those things will suck a tube down. So if your seat disappears from underneath you, you should be in the lap of the person next to you.
And then finally, last time we floated this river, I think I saw 5 bears. So there's a lot of nature around us, and so make sure to enjoy that. So are there any questions? I think that's basically, guides, did I forget anything on the safety speed? Medications, which is not on here, by the way. If you have a medication, if you have a medical condition, you want to make sure that your guide is aware of it so that he can help in case anything happens. So quietly, just sort of take a little walk with your guide and let him know what's going on. Okay, because we want the guide to know. All right, so the team can make sure to be effective with helping you. Thank you. Any other topics?
Yeah,
questions? Yes.
I don't know if you mentioned water, sunscreen, clothing.
Let's talk about water, sunscreen, and clothing. We're going to see a lot of water. We're going to see a lot of sun today. So if you're fair skinned like I am, you want to make sure you've got sunscreen lotion on. I like go with like SPF 50 myself. But whatever, obviously I'm pretty white, I never tan. But anyway, or, coverage, whatever. So you need to either cover it, but do be aware of that. Also, like a big hat, like I have here, there's still a lot of water reflection of the light coming up. So we will be getting baked today. So definitely be prepared with your sunscreen.
I have extra if anybody needs it. It's over on the table over here in a bag.
So thank you for that. Any other comments, questions? Yes?
Where do you leave your
Well, so I typically will have mine in my dry suit, but what you probably want to do is when you do your shuttle, coordinate with your shuttle driver. You may leave your keys like with the shuttle driver or something. I don't know. That'll work out in the shuttle, I think. Don't take them if you're not driving.
Are we not going to have helmets on this trip?
There are no helmets. I don't think we're planning any helmets today because this water is deep and there aren't that many rocks. So
Just thinking for sun, head coverage.
just a hat. If you don't have a hat, I got a few extras.
That would be awesome.
Need a hat.
Yeah.
So give me a
I
holler
also
on
have
what you
some
want.
spray sunscreen.